Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to my therapy session. Video diary, poetry reading, true crime audio file. YouTube channel. Thanks for coming back to my YouTube channel. In this installment, we're going to do some more crafting. Okay, so on Monday, I was like an hour early to therapy, and I'm always painfully early. It's like very embarrassing. But on Monday, I decided that I would get out of my car and I went to Buffalo Exchange. I'm going to a wedding. Technically, I'm leaving tonight, so I have to get this all done in like a couple hours. But like, it's fine. I'll be fine. Like the queen of procrastinating. Right, so I tried this dress on before therapy, and I immediately was like, oh my god, Betsey Johnson made all of my prom dresses. No, she made one of my prom dresses. Yeah, just the one. The best one, the first one. I saw this and I was like, ooh, but then I was like, you know what, no, I like don't need another dress. Like I'm sure I can find something to wear to this wedding, so it's like whatever, I'm just gonna leave it. And then during therapy, we were analyzing this dream that I had where these like two little orcas were like swimming. We called the orcas to the room and I asked them, what are you trying to tell me, orcas? What do I need to improve upon in my life? And they were like, oh my god, have more fun. Fun? I gotta pay rent. I have to make my parents proud. Who has time for fun? So my therapist and I were like, how can I have more fun? I immediately thought of this dress. Like one of my favorite things that I used to do in middle school and high school was mostly sew things onto other things. One time my high school astronomy teacher told me that a shirt that I wore looked like a bedazzler had like vomited on it. One of the nicest things that anyone has ever said to me. So after therapy, I went back to Buffalo and I got this dress. I have a bunch of just like random crafting items. So I figured I'll make a video because one of my favorite things to do for fun is to talk to myself about myself. So that's what this video is gonna be. So here she is. She's baby doll, low-key very unflattering because she does nothing for my waist, but she's so cute, I just don't care. Also, I am realizing now that she is silk, and silk is not the most forgiving material to stab with a needle. We're gonna see how it goes. What I've learned in my sewing career is that I always like to kind of like map out what I'm doing first, because if I kind of like dive right in just like sewing things on without having a plan, things can kind of go haywire. Once you start something and you get into the process of creating, that's kind of when the ideas start flowing. So I never want to limit myself right off the bat by making like a big bold choice and then being like, oh, actually this would have looked better, but now I can't do that because I've already started this other thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my brain it does, and that's all that matters. First thought of when I saw this was that I wanted to do some kind of like waist embellishments because like I said, it's already somewhat unflattering, so making sure that I'm accentuating the smallest part of me will be important. This is where a mannequin comes in handy. You can't tell, you can't see what I'm doing. Mapping out your plans beforehand is also helpful for deciding what materials you're going to use. It's also important to note the quality of the materials that you're using. Sometimes even the best execution still ends up looking like a middle school art project because you used middle school art project materials. I like using repurposed beads from like estate sale jewelry. I like using old buttons off of vintage coats, things like that. Bring more authenticity and a quality of your personality to different pieces rather than, going to Joann's and like grabbing a bunch of buttons. Duh, what am I talking about? I am my own mannequin. Duh. So silly sometimes. I just looked directly into the light bulb and it was very painful. So I knew when I saw this that what I wanted to do have some kind of pearl straps. I feel like that's very elegant. So I like this. I would maybe even do like double strands. I don't have a pearl necklace to match, so maybe I can kind of fake one. I was thinking of lining the bust with pearls, or even doing the ends of this big bow. Oh, actually, I like the bow a lot. And then maybe I could even go around the knot of the bow. That's fun. I do still like the belt aspect as well, because again, I do want to draw more attention to my waist. I feel like I have to go with the belt. If I'm starting to add a lot at my bust, which admittedly, not a whole lot there, but because the bow is so big, I might just end up making myself look rather boxy. I don't know where those have been. How long do germs live on doorknobs for? 24 hours. Okay, we're good. I am a certified hypochondriac. I have been on WebMD so much that I get targeted ads for nursing school. Outfit change. Now that we know what we're doing, let's discuss material. You will need string, different colored string, a needle, beads, scissors that match your nails. This might actually end up being not bad. As I get closer to the middle, I'm becoming more conscious of how straight my beads are and maintaining the gap between them and making sure that it's consistent, because that's the part that people are mostly going to see is the front of you. And when you say, yeah, I made this myself, then they'll be like, or they'll be like, because that's why we do things, right? Is for the validation of other people. Hence this YouTube channel. We're halfway there. Whoa, living on a prayer. Don't sue me, Bon Jovi. Don't sue me, Bon Jovi. Hey, Bon Jovi, what are you doing? Don't sue me. Hey, I'm hungry. What am I gonna eat today? I have lentils. What is a lentil? Where do lentils come from? What does a lentil plant look like? Oh no, lentils are a grain. No, they're a legume? Do they come in pods? Or do they grow like grapes? Where do lentils come from? The lentil, Lens culinaris or Lens esculenta, is an edible legume. It is a bushy annual plant known for its lens-shaped seeds. Seeds grow in pods. I was totally just kidding, and I was right. That's the fun thing about me, is that I'm always right. As a food crop, the majority of world production comes from Canada, India, and Turkey. What do those three climates have in common with each other? Canada, India, and Turkey? I mean, India and Turkey, yes, but what about the Canadian climate is conducive to producing lentils that is also conducive in Turkey and India? That's a Google for another day. We learn so much together. You come for the fashion? You come for the humor? Or do you come for the odd facts about edible vegetation? I don't know, but either way, you come. What if there was an earthquake at that exact moment and I just like lurched forward and stabbed myself in the eye? Pop like a little grape. Do you think it would blind me? Should I Google that? No. That's enough Googling for this episode. I flatter myself. For the pearl straps, I'm not confident in my tailoring abilities. And so I don't want to do anything like structurally altering to the dress. So what I'm going to do instead is add the pearls next to the strap. And then when I wear the dress, I'm just going to tuck the strap in just in case something snaps or it's like wildly uncomfortable. And I want to have the option while I'm at the wedding to still be able to just be like, I made a mistake. I'm going to take this off and wear the strap still. So if the pearl straps break or something, then I have added insurance with the straps. What I'm going to do is making sure that I have enough pearls to come down so that I can sew them to the dress, because it's not like the pearls are just going to like magically dance on top of the edge of the fabric, so I'm going to need them to come down a little bit. Thinking about this might be incredibly uncomfortable having these pearls pressed up against my boobs, but pain is beauty, and here we go. I'm going to measure this along the lines of the straps. So now I'm going to take the same thing a little more on the end to make sure that I have enough room to sew them, and then I'm just going to take my scissors and cut. I'm going to take this, cut it again for the other strap. Now this strap is theoretically going to be holding up the whole dress, so I just really want to make sure that it's really well enforced because I don't want any nip slips. Because this day is not about me. This is taking all of my brain power. Now! We did it. The straps actually are not uncomfortable, and I feel like they, because this is how I dance. This is the perfect test, because this is how I dance. But just in case, I left the other straps, and then I can always put the straps on, and then maybe this hangs down. It's nice, I guess. This feels nice and secure. Keep straps tucked. Perfect. Yay! We did it! Oh no. Thanks, orcas from my subconscious. I had fun. And I hope you had fun too. Thank you guys for watching my cry for help. YouTube video.